How did you adapt the cold? You mean for being here in Canada? So I came in Canada in October, so that was a fall season. So I grew up in the Philippines, right? And in the Philippines is very hot. You always sweat all the time. And sometimes or most of the time, depending on the day, the sun can get really, really hot, and often it would bite your skin or it would sting your skin, and most of the time it gives you headache. And arriving in Canada during the fall season, the weather is already cold. So for me, I loved it because it was my first time to ever experience the weather in Canada. It was so cold that I've never experienced that climate in the Philippines. So I was always excited and I was wishing that it would snow. And mind you, I lived part of BC where it doesn't get snowed often, or it doesn't get snow very much. And when I arrived in Canada, my sister would always remind me to make sure dress warmly because you don't want to get cold, you might get sick. But most of the time I was being stubborn and I did not listen because I was just so excited to feel the coldness in my body. And eventually it was snowing and it was my first time to ever experience the snow. And for me, I was so happy because, oh my God, that was my first time. I never experienced this in the Philippines. I only saw this on TV. And I really liked the snow then. And I even recommended, oh, we could even make halo-halo out of the ice. And my family were like, no, you can't do that. That's dirty. And at one point, I did experience a crazy fall of snow. It was intense. That was in 2006. But then again, I was not complaining. In fact, I was still very happy because I've never experienced to see that much snow in my entire life. And years goes by. Eventually, my body got used to the cold. And for some reason, at one point, my body was kind of like rejecting or complaining about the cold. And it turns out that I am anemic. And my body tend to get cold easily. And eventually, I ended up moving out of BC and relocate to the east side of Canada. So I moved in Ontario, and the snow there, oh my God, it's way worse than BC. So I lived in Ontario for 4 years and I basically experienced all the cold season, all the crazy season there. In a way, I was not very happy because of the cold and my body can't handle it. So I decided to just come back in BC because at least BC only rains a lot, not snowing a lot. And there was also a point that I ended up going to Thailand because I want to experience the warm weather. And I loved being in Thailand. And of course, due to certain situation, I cannot really live in Thailand. So here I am back in BC. I'm still affected by the cold, but what can I do? I don't control the weather, right? And hopefully one day I'll be able to move to Asia and live there full time because I realized that my body preferred to be in a warm weather or hot weather. Okay, so that's my story of how I adapt the cold in Canada. Now you know. Mwah!